This is Smithy.tv.
Hi, I'm Katie Ullman reporting for Katie Chats here at Smithy TV in downtown Toronto with producer, editor, director Justin McConnell and the owner of Unstable Ground Productions.
Yes.
What inspired you to become a filmmaker?
They weren't taking criminologists. No, probably when I was around 15, I started doing a whole bunch of projects for classes. Started with documentary stuff. Just if we had a class presentation, I'd cut like a 15 or 20 minute, because I had 2 VCRs set up. And anyway, I got a liking for it, made a bunch of films when I was really young, and then I just kind of zeroed my focus probably around 17, 18, and from that point forward, I wanted to do film, and only film. I've always loved movies.
You've done a number of films now, and you're currently working on Skull World and Eternal. Can you tell me a bit about those 2 projects?
Sure. Well, Skullworld's done. It's been 100% done for a few months. We're just looking for the right premieres. It's something I shot. It's a documentary I shot over maybe 3-4 years. It follows one guy named Greg Sommer, who's got an alter ego named Skullman, who is basically this character that he created in the early 90s. He has this like prosthetic skull mask he puts on.
Scary.
And not really. And the way I'd sort of describe him is a vicious sounding good guy. But what's so interesting about him is that he runs the Canadian chapter of this thing called Box Wars. And what Box Wars is just people putting on cardboard armor and weapons and beating the living crap out of each other in front of an audience. Wow. So I followed about 4 years of him building that chapter, and we went to Australia, and the movie's done, and hopefully people will be seeing it soon.
What was the craziest thing that you learned through making the documentary?
That's a tough question. Because pretty much everything that Greg does is crazy. You can never have too much security.
Did you run into any scary situations?
No. I think that was more Greg's opinion of life. But in all honesty, it was always sort of an adventure. So if I could pinpoint one thing, maybe bring a bucket if you go to a off the books hidden ayahuasca ceremony.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. And what about Eternal? What's so exciting about that story?
Well, The Eternal's a movie I've been trying to get made for 4 years now, and we finally have a great team of producers, and we've got some pretty major talent. Michael Biehn from The Terminator and Aliens has agreed to join the cast. We just locked another pretty major actor over Christmas that I can't mention yet, but I'm pretty happy because I used to watch him when I was a little kid, and now he's the type of actor who actually said to us, you know, if you're going to fly me to Canada, you better make me work for it, so make my action scenes bigger. So whatever, fine. But basically, it's a story that it follows after a short film we made in 2008 called Ending the Eternal, and that short was about a vampire who wants to die, so he hires some people to kill him, and then they mess up, obviously. The feature follows after that. He still wants to die, but he's not happy with simple suicide, so he tries to go out and find descendants of warriors from his past, hoping that one of them will be strong enough to kill him.
How do you go about choosing your projects?
Well, they kind of choose me, because most of the things I would call my projects are things that I wrote with my writing partner, former writing partner Kevin. So it's not so much that we choose our projects, we create our projects and then we make them happen. So some things take longer to make happen than others, like The Eternal. We started with a way too high a budget and we gradually worked it down, and now it's kind of manageable. But other than that, people do approach me with stuff, and some stuff I've done, smaller things that wasn't generated by ourselves, but mostly we create it from the get-go.
And what types of films do you hope to develop in the future?
I've got a list. We've actually got a slate written, 5 or 6 other films. Most of them are in the horror-ish genre, but I don't like to pinpoint it into like this is a horror film, or they're all stories that happen to have horrific elements and some of them comedic elements. There's lots of things. There's a few books I'm circling right now that we're trying to get the rights to, stuff that will make really, really fun films. But right now, getting The Eternal done so I can move on to a pile of other things is pretty much the goal.
And where's the best place to find out more information on you and on your projects online?
Unstableground.net is the main site, but the internet's like a web, right? So, I mean, I'm everywhere. You know, you go on Google Plus, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Vimeo. There's an Unstable Ground page on all those sites. But Unstable Ground Net's kind of the hub, and then it spreads out into 7 or 8 other websites, and then all the social media sites. And I'm out there.
Great. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. It was so nice to see you again.
Great.
And best of luck with all of your current and upcoming projects.
Sure. Thanks.
Thank you. I'm Katie Ullman reporting for Katie Chats here at Smithy TV in downtown Toronto.